What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the AM Hookah Podcast. Technical difficulties. Let me see here. There's a button that lets me transition over, but I wanted to wear a hat. But I can't find my hat. And since I can't find my hat, I guess we're just going to transition over to me. What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you are all doing good. Heist 100. Brookheads, clearly is trying to get a crew together. Apparently we can heist this early. Goes to show you how much attention I'm paying today. Technical difficulties. We're going to be going over something that isn't going to affect probably the lion's share of most of our viewers. So I'm going to open with this. You saw the thumbnail. You see the title of the video if you just look down like literally half an inch. We're going to be going over specifically the Shika Oblivion Bowl, although this also applies to the Shika Sandstorm Bowl. And I'm going to open up with, if you don't have this bowl, I would highly recommend you don't purchase this bowl. It's a good budget bowl. Unfortunately, the capacity is too high. The clay that it is made of is subpar, and there's just better bowls. If you just spend a couple more bucks, you can get a better funnel. However, some of you may have this bowl and didn't even make the decision to buy it. If you bought a Shika, this is the bowl that Shikas come with in today's day and age. And a lot of people might not know how to pack this, especially if they bought a Shika because they wanted to get a traditional hookah. They're used to modern hookahs, and then they realize, oh, this bowl isn't very good for smoking my modern shisha tobacco. And you're correct. I wouldn't recommend smoking a super modern shisha tobacco. Nothing dark. Honestly. Chat. What's going on, Justin Young? What's going on, Captain Wetbeard? What's going on, Justin Young again? What's going on, Captain Wetbeard again? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to actually do that. What's going on, Matt? Khalid Abed? Khalid Abed? I fucking hope I'm not destroying your name. Hookah Uni's here. What's going on? Whichever one of you is monitoring from Hookah Uni. Streamlabs is here, and I guess Streamlabs is the new chat bot. They changed his name to Streamlabs, so whatever. That's fine, I guess. Don't buy this bowl, but some of you might already have one. And this bowl actually isn't a total piece of crap. It's just one of those things where it's slightly suboptimal, so I would not recommend picking one of these up when you could pick up something that's going to be a lot more optimal, a lot more optimized, just a better bowl in general. Today we're going to be packing it with more of a traditional style of tobacco. By traditional, I mean like UAE style flue-cured Virginia, or a lot of them will get flue-cured like French tobacco, which is what this is. This is a flue-cured French tobacco, Messiah Lemon Mint. Stefan, however you pronounce your name. What's going on, buddy? Everyone's heisting and stuff. Real quick, hey guys, any of you guys see the show on Monday? I know there were a few hiccups in the show. Dr. Noob Sauce, aka Chris Fernandez, did the best he could. Unfortunately, there were some issues with the show. I believe we're getting together a version where the audio's done correctly, but I stand firm that the purpose of that show and the information conveyed was important, so I'd recommend going back and watching that show again. That said, coals are down now, so we're going to do this pack, then I'm going to leave, maybe flip my coals, come back, we'll talk about it. We're going to smoke on the matte pear because that's what's set up, because that's what I always smoke on. And the reason the coals are on now instead of having them done and buried in ash ahead of time is because in this bowl, if I don't use enough heat, it's not going to heat up at all. And let's start off by talking about this bowl a little bit. This bowl right here is gigantic. I could actually fill this up with Sprite and probably drink out of it. It's not a very good joke. But it's a pretty big bowl. It's made of red clay, so it doesn't diffuse heat as well as like white American clay or any comparable clay on the market today. So what you're going to want to do is overpack this just a little bit and overload it with heat, because all of your heat is going to be top down. It's going to diffuse into the tobacco pretty quickly, and this bowl is going to opt out of holding heat very well. Like after you're done with the session with this bowl, you can actually just grab it like this as soon as it's done, and it's not going to burn your hand. It's very strange that they went with red clay, but I think it is more cost effective. Let's see chat before we switch over. Good, Matt. Out to end, eat smoke. You guys are all talking to yourselves. Can't wait to meet you, Adrian, at the expo. It's going to be legit. Let's switch over camera angles so we can talk a little bit about what this pack method is going to look like. Okay. Really simple pack. Nothing crazy is going on here. We've got our bowl. We've got the Messiah. We don't want to dense it down too much, and thanks to Mr. Paul, Eddie Paul from over at Hookah Uni. We have switched to using chopsticks for a lot of these gravity pack type packs. They've really simplified all the guys over at Hookah Uni, kind of by way of a meme of just like eliminating all these extra packs and just doing like a zero compaction pack, and it tends to work. I think that there's a little bit more bro science that you can put into your pack that will increase the performance. But when you're using a subpar bowl, and honestly, as much as I love this tobacco and as near and dear as that Mazian lemon mint is to my heart, this is a subpar tobacco. This is a subpar bowl. We're going to try to get at least a par session out of 2 subpar pieces of equipment. So first thing is first. And by the way, if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, welcome to the AM Hookah Podcast. If you're just brand new here, subscribe, and we've got a sponsor to tell you about after this little piece of the show. So mix up your tobacco. This is going to be pretty obvious to most of you guys watching this on the live. I would venture to guess that most of you are well aware of how you pack a flue-cured, French, in this case, a French flue-cured tobacco. But I'm just going to do the hashtag gravity pack. I'm just going to be grabbing a bunch of it with my chopsticks and trying to keep it not compact. Like I'm going to try to do zero compaction and just lightly move it around, not mess around with it a whole lot. I just want it to all be in the bowl, and I want there to be no gigantic air gaps, but I would like it a lot if the individual leaves had plenty of room to breathe. I think that's very important, and if you don't do that, your bowl is going to be shitty, and if you have a shitty bowl, it's your own fucking fault. I don't know why I was so hostile there. Yeah, I do. I'm just not going to tell you guys. It's a fucking secret, isn't it? Okay, so this is almost done. Maybe a little bit more right here. That's how easy that was. That took like no effort. We're going to adjust with a foil poker, but you will see that it is slightly above the rim, and I'm not going to do a lot to avoid that. We're going to leave it slightly above the rim, and it's going to perform just fine, and you will see that. So now we can get rid of the Messiah. Real quick, for any of you guys who haven't tried Messiah's Lemon Mint, I have a review on it. I'm not going to link to it. It's one of my first reviews. The information I convey there is good. The way I do it, I think, is awful. Buy Messiah Lemon Mint if you have $11.12 in your bank account, and you're looking for a really kind of a faux natural lemon mint. They add a little bit of bitterness to make it seem natural, but now that I've been smoking for longer, me from 2016 would have said, oh, this is a natural lemon mint. Now me would say, this is a very artificial lemon mint, kind of candied, with some bitterness thrown in there to kind of give you the illusion that is a natural lemon mint. Having had actual natural lemon mints, I can now say for sure that this is not a totally natural lemon mint. I think I'm going to go flip my coals really quick. So you guys keep doing your little gamey shit. Fucking be right back. You know, I said the word Sprite when I was referring to that bowl, and I realized I could have some Sprite. Normally I'm a very good boy, and I drink a lot of LaCroix and alcoholic beverages on this podcast. But sometimes I enjoy a carbonated soda pop beverage. And Sprite is the drink of the day because I was having mixed drinks the other evening. Any of you guys that may be here and are veteran watchers of technical difficulties or any of the AM Hookah Podcast shows, you're probably like, hey, what's up, Adrian? It's 4:35 Eastern Time, PM, on a Friday. I'm still at work. Why are you doing this? There's a few reasons. I think that Friday is kind of a deadly day to do a live show anyway, just because everyone's pretty busy. We joke about, oh, you got nothing to do, but we're all actually pretty busy human beings. You have to be an adult to watch this show. By the way, if you're 18, fuck off. Go ask your mom if you can buy some candy or something. If you're over 18, in certain states you need to be over 21. You know your laws. If you're here and you're not supposed to be here, go talk to your mother, son. But, Bull, we're gonna arrange it. Anyway, I had a track of thought, and then I forgot to tell little kids to get out of the fucking channel, so. I don't think we've personally had any issues with that on this channel, but I think it's good to self-govern a little bit. We'll be talking about self-governing a lot in the near future. Why? Because we like to smoke tobacco. It's what we like to do. Now, I was mentioning that the heat's not going to diffuse down into this bowl very well, which is kind of how you get a really good session, especially on these blondes. You want the bowl to pick up heat. And then instead of the coals pulling all the weight, your bowl is actually pulling the weight, holding the heat from the coals and cooking the tobacco thoroughly from under and above. This is going to primarily cook from above. There's going to be a little bit of hot spotting in the red clay because of how red clay is and the way its pores are set up and stuff. But I wouldn't read too much into it. It's not going to perform very well. That said, I did say I wouldn't recommend picking up a Shika Oblivion or Sandstorm Bowl. They're fairly interchangeable. But if you already have one, I also wouldn't recommend throwing them away. Because they're neat bowls. I wouldn't call them necessarily collectible, but they are interesting. You don't really see a bowl like this. It's a behemoth bowl. It's got a lot of capacity, and it's actually not the worst thing for smoking these like Virginia/French flue-cured tobaccos out of. It's not optimal, but don't throw it away. But don't buy one either. I hope that makes sense. Foiling is going to be fairly simple. We're not super worried about it being hyper drum tight, just because the spider is way down there, and it's already overpacked a little bit anyway, so a slight bit of foil drag is not going to bug us. But because of best practices, we're still going to try to get it pretty drum tight. We're just not going to stress ourselves because this bowl is gigantic, and it's quite hard to get these really big bowls to be perfectly drum tight. A lot of the old Middle Eastern dudes from my neck of the woods over here in Dearborn would probably tell you different because they foil oranges all the time, and no shade, those guys can get those pretty drum tight. But there's that. So, holes, pretty standard. We're not going to poke any holes over the spire because we need all the heat trapping we can get in this bowl pack. So we're going to do 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings. And then we're going to stop poking holes because if we poke holes above the spire, there's going to start to be a heat escape. And any type of heat escape is going to cause our session to go down in, what's the word for it? Optimization, down in cloud and flavor. We do want to trap as much heat in this bowl as we can. Now we are going to smoke this out of a matte pear, which I'm afraid might be a little bit open because this is a wide open bowl because of how low the spire is, how much capacity it has. Yeah, this is going to be pretty wide open. We're using 4 coals, obviously, because we want to almost char the top layer just to get like enough heat in there to actually start cooking the tobacco. Switch over. So anyway, we are doing it at 4:30 EST Friday. We're trying out different times. And to be honest, there's a lot of rewatch value in this show, I think. So any of you guys who do catch it live, what's up? Glad you're hanging out. Feel free to heist if you're not watching this live. We do all these cool little games with our cryptocurrency called bowls. They're not real bowls. They're not like cereal bowls or tobacco bowls. They're a different type of bowl. More on that and how we're going to be using very shortly. We're starting to come up with some plans. Some of you guys who watch the actual podcast priority know a little bit about it. So we're going to secure this to the top. I'm actually going to scoot over a little bit and introduce this to the framing. 4 coals is what we're going to go with. Everybody, what are we smoking? Are we smoking right now or are we all stuck at work? What the fuck's going on? I want to know about your life. But first I need to put coals on my bowl. I'll be right back. Again. You can hear me, but you can't see me. I don't think you can see me. Maybe you can. 1 coal. Hear that sizzling? That is because we overpacked the shit out of our bowl. You usually get some type of sizzle when you start your bowl up, but it's really exaggerated when you like overload your bowl with heat. Smoking. Are we doing it? It's gone for like 2 minutes. No one said anything. I mean, it doesn't make a difference to me. I'm going to sit here and smoke this bowl either way and talk about it. So, if you own an Oblivion Bowl, what you just saw is my recommended pack method for the Oblivion Bowl. I would recommend that at some point you update your bowl. Because obviously if you bought a Shika, this is the bowl that it comes with. And it does work. It's actually a lot better than when you buy a KM. You're going to get a red clay Egyptian bowl. And I don't think there's anything wrong with the red clay Egyptian bowl. They function. There's even times when I will opt to use one over a high-end funnel bowl. Red clay Egyptian bowls have so much variance that sometimes you get a great one and sometimes you get one that does not work. And that's a problem because it's kind of flipping the coin every time you order it. So with this Oblivion Bowl, they're almost always going to be functional, bare minimum. They should also heat up pretty quickly. Like, I think it's been a couple seconds, but since we're not waiting for the entire bowl to heat up and for it start to cook from the underside, if I rip off this right now, we should start to get some type of cloudage. Yeah, we're already pulling some decent amount of clouds. They will get bigger. There is a certain amount of heat settling that needs to happen in the tobacco, and just the little rim of the bowl that's not going to have a chance to cool down because the coals are on top of it. Things about the Oblivion Bowl that I feel like you need to know before I go on to the session. Maybe talking about some other stuff. Here's the biggest one. Besides wasting a ton of tobacco, it's really difficult to cook all of the tobacco in your bowl. I've even heard of the trick, and this isn't a trick we typically recommend here on the podcast. Cut up some lemon peels or some orange peels and put them at the bottom of your bowl and pack your tobacco on top of that. It doesn't matter what you put in the bottom. You just want something that's relatively safe if it warms up and you vaporize it a little bit. You want it to be semi-safe to inhale. So if you do it that way, you'll waste less tobacco. So there's a little hack for you if you do use an Oblivion Bowl. But the issue is, since it's only going to cook from the top, really, it's very difficult to cache an Oblivion Bowl. You're more likely to continue to char the tobacco in the top of this bowl than you are to actually get heat down to the bottom of the bowl. And if you put enough heat to actually heat at the bottom of the bowl, you're going to run into an issue where you're starting to actually combust the charred tobacco on top, and then you run into the cigarette problem where you now have tar in your smoke, which is so easy to avoid. But I typically don't recommend putting something like orange peel or any type of fruit in your bowl, because it would be suboptimal. But in a gigantic bowl like this, you can get away with it. Especially if you're in a budget. You just spent $80 on a full Shika setup and it came with the Oblivion Bowl, you can continue to smoke. Say you don't get paid for a month and you just want to have good sessions that month before you decide to pick up your Hookah Bowl or your Alpaca Bowl or your Stone Bowl or your Relics or whatever type of bowl you're into, your Hazy Bowl, whatever you like. There are ways to make this bowl behave quite well. Just to reiterate, and the reason I wouldn't buy one, there's nothing in it for you. If you have the money to buy yourself a bowl and you already have a collection of funnel bowls, there's nothing in this bowl for you. So if you're just here and you're almost everyone in this chat, this doesn't apply to. We all know what we smoke out of. This is more directed towards people, especially people either not from America or brand new smokers in America who only have access to something like this. The clouds are outstanding for what it is. The Messiah clouds are pretty good. They're even better when you can cook them from underneath. But given that all the heat here is from the top, I can grab the bowl like this, and this isn't even mildly warm. Like, I can go all the way up to here. This is not warm. The bowl is cold still. Like, it's cold to the touch, which is kind of strange. Flavor's good. Little update for those of you who don't smoke Messiah Lemon Mint. Messiah Lemon Mint is what I used to think of as a natural lemon mint, but as you smoke it, you get used to these really candied lemon mints, like Mighty Freeze or Mimone. These lemon mints that have a lemon in them. And then you smoke Messiah and you think, oh wow, a natural lemon mint. But it's not until you have an actual natural lemon mint that you start to realize that this isn't quite natural. They've added bitter notes artificially after the fact, and you still have that candied lemon. The candied lemon is muted because they're not afraid to put a lot of mint in the flavor either. It's not mostly mint, but it's enough mint that you don't really feel the need to add more mint into the flavor. I would recommend picking this up if you're A, on a budget, or B, just looking for new blondes to try, and you're a big fan of things like Alfaca or Alfacama. If those are your go-tos, this is going to be subpar compared to Alfacama, and right on par with Alfaca in my opinion. But they do have some flavors that those brands don't produce the same way. One of them is lemon mint. I do think Alfacama's lemon mint is a step above, but I still recommend people try Messiah's lemon mint. It's worth trying. Some people would prefer it. I personally prefer Alfacama. They also have some wild flavors. They have their strawberry cream. That's an amazing flavor that I would highly recommend trying. And their strawberry banana is another one that's very artificial but very delicious. Did you ever try the Sky Bowl by Shisha Bucks? I've tried it once. I didn't feel too strongly about it one way or the other. I smoked out of it. I said, yeah, that smokes. It wasn't, there was nothing that stuck out to me, and it wasn't subpar either. And that said, that doesn't mean that all bowls behave the same. Like my first time smoking out of a Surrey bowl with Tangiers, it hit me in the face how perfect that bowl is for Tangiers. I think the Sky Bowl's fine. I probably wouldn't pick one up for myself, even though I do own a Shisha Bucks, just because I don't know that that type of bowl is going to have anything special for me. If I'm not mistaken, that entire bowl is metal bodied, and I'm not a big fan of that. All right, clouds are starting to open up. Interesting thing, this works especially well with Messiah. Al-Fakir might be burning by this point. Messiah can take heat surprisingly well for the type of tobacco that it is. It is bound with honey, I do believe. Let me take a quick check. I believe they have to disclose that on the actual packaging, so let's take a look. Glycerin, no, this is molasses. There's no honey in here. So I'm not sure what's causing it to retain heat without burning as well as Messiah does. It may just be quality of leaf. There is dye. I thought this was undyed when I first looked at it, because you look at it and you see, oh, that's kind of a nice natural tobacco color. They dye it blonde. They want it to be a stronger blonde color. If you've ever seen a natural blonde tobacco, that's not quite what it looks like. It's close, but it's not quite right. You can see that it is dyed. Same thing with like their mints are dyed green, and some things they dye red, and they actually have a pink dye as well. But whatever it is about the tobacco, I think the tobacco itself is probably a better quality tobacco than Al-Fakir, because if you look at Al-Fakir, one of the main reasons it's dyed red is because they have washed it so much that if you were to rinse the dye off, and believe me, you can do this and check, the tobacco is now translucent. There is no color to the tobacco whatsoever. So it might just be that the tobacco is a better quality. Messiah's Mint is solid. I would recommend it if you're looking if you're trying to get free shipping, for instance, and you need to get your order to $50 on Hookah John. If he had Messiah, I don't know if he does. This applies to any site you might do this with. Throw on a $250 of Messiah for $11. I think you will bare minimum be happy you tried to experience it, and it's not worth throwing out either. It's a solid tobacco when you get to the end of your stash. That said, I think we've all moved past brands like Messiah in terms of like what we actually keep in our rotation. I think our Virginia Fluke here tobacco of choice in this community has become Alpha Comma. We are ready for a flip. So what's everyone's plans for the evening? I'm going to get out of here, spend some actual time with some people that I know in real life, which I don't do nearly enough. Spend a lot of time on this channel and a lot of time on my channel, and a lot of time just fucking off doing dumb shit, you know, as you do. I know that later tonight I might hop on Hanks if people are on Hanks super late to get some late night bowls in. Also, I'll be doing an unboxing. I think I'm going to do it on this channel just because I thought it'd be fun. Instead of my channel, I usually do the unboxings, but those are for like sponsored videos. And I use the word sponsored really loosely. On Pipe Dream Hookah, I don't carry any sponsors. What I do, giggity. What I do is sometimes people will say, hey, can I send you a bunch of tobacco? You could mention my shop. And then, like the Rami Alsner High Desert Smoke series. And I'll say, I don't really like sponsored videos. I used to work a 5-star, and I do negative reviews, and I really don't want that to be attached to a vendor because I understand that they're a business. And typically, if their response is, I don't care if it's negative, you know, just do it. I like your channel, I'll do it. So I've done that twice so far. But I'm about to put in like a $250 stash order because I'm starting to run low on tobacco, and I think I'll do an unboxing. But I'm thinking about ordering some Tangiers, some Trifecta, some Azure, and some Azure, Trifecta, Tangiers, and some other shit. What should I order? What do you guys think I should order? I think I'm going to go Hookah-Shisha. Clouds are not disappointing, and I've heard complaints about the clouds and flavor profile from a bowl like this. And I disagree when a lot of people say that they can't get clouds. That said, I've got 4 flats on here, and these are, whoa, I almost fell. Sponsor time, Prestige Coconut Coals. In this case, I'm using the jumbo flats. They also make cubes. I endorse both variations. They are the sponsor of the AM Hookah Podcast. We do have a link in the description where you can go buy these off of Amazon.com. It's an affiliate link, so we get some of that cha-ching. And if you know anything about this channel, we typically put our cha-ching back into giveaways for you guys. So one of you is going to end up getting that money back anyway. that is what we use. I would highly recommend. If I could recommend, you're only going to get 1 kilo of coal. Get the jumbo flats. They're worth trying. If you have a Shika Oblivion Bowl, you're still going to need to use 4 jumbo flats like I am today. This isn't burning, to put it in perspective. So if I was only using 3 flats, jumbo flats in this case, this bowl would be underperforming. And I get why a lot of people have asked me the question, especially in the early days of my personal channel, where I used this Oblivion Bowl in some reviews. I can't get it to work, and I didn't have a good answer back then, but now I can confidently say, understanding how clay works after smoking a lot of different kinds of clays, from the boutique bowls like Stone, Mason, and Relics, down to the run-of-the-mill good $20 bowls, Alpaca, Hookah John, what have you. Red clay is a suboptimal clay for bowls. Azure is good. I think for Azure, I'm going to go 500 grams of lemon muffin because it's one of my favorite Azure flavors. But Hookah Shisha does super packs, and you can save a lot of money. If you we have a discount code over at, from our friends over at Hookah University. It's HUNI15 at Hookah-Shisha. They have all kinds of discount codes for all different kinds of vendors. They're a well enjoyed group among the community. And I'll be using that. So I think I've got my cart almost sorted out, but it's going to be 2 Tangier super packs, a Trifecta Dark Super Pack, a Trifecta Blonde Super Pack, and an Azure Blonde Super Pack is what I think I'm going to go with. And if I get 2 lemon muffins, I don't know what my third Azure flavor is going to be. It's going to be Blonde because I just got done smoking through 3 kilos of Azure Dark for the Rami High Desert Smoke Series. Azure Trifecta, 2 favorite loves. Alpha Comma disappointed. Really? Alpha Comma disappointed you? The only reason I'm not ordering Alpha Comma is because I have a good amount in my stash still. I really like Alpha Comma, although I can see where it would be disappointing for some people. It is the best of the traditional UAE style Virginia/French flue-cured tobacco brands. It's the best one. I think the flavors are the most outstanding. I think the R&D team is the best. And I think especially the US guy, Badia, does such a good job interacting with the community and getting feedback that company really thrives because they're giving people what they want. However, you have to acknowledge that some people might not fucking enjoy that style of tobacco, especially when we have tobaccos like Azure, which are binded in honey and can take more heat and have more exotic flavor profiles for the most part. And Trifecta, who has arguably one of the best dark lines, period. I could see where if those are your preferences, you might not enjoy Alpha Comma. Me personally, I smoke a lot of tobacco, so I can usually find something to enjoy about most brands. Hold for the really bad ones, so I'm not going to say any names here, because jroc may watch this after the fact. And, if you want to smoke Fantasia, I'm not going to fucking judge you. This is a hookah, do what you want. But I don't smoke Fantasia. Let's see here. Still got some 250 chilling. Smoke. Just really, what is it you do not like? What did you try? They're talking about the blueberry muffin is better than lemon muffin. Strong disagree. Hard no. Although it is an opinion thing. That's fine. But I've had blueberry muffin. I've had lemon muffin. I'm a way bigger fan of the lemon muffin. My fave combo is Afzal Pan, which is one of the only. I just got Afzal lemon pie, and it's really bad. Their pan flavors have been impressive, but the lemon pie is not good. Review coming soon. But if you watch this, you can probably skip that review. It's just bad. With Starbuzz Blue Mist, goes well with any fruity flavors. Yeah, if you like florals like Pons, Blue Mist, sweeten it up. Absolutely, why not? Orange, lemon, and guava. So far left me wanting more flavor. The leaf cuts were absolute shit. Yeah, they don't pay a lot of attention to their cuts. It's a very traditional style of tobacco. I haven't had any issues with their cuts personally, but they did have a batch issue a little while back, especially with the iced tea flavors. But I can see it. I'm still hard to disagree. I'm a big fan of Alpha Comma, but yeah, I can see, especially if you are into Trifecta Dark specifically, and that's your cup of tea, you are going to find any of the Virginia/French flue-cured UAE style blonde cut up tobaccos to be lackluster. Trifecta, for people who really like really saturated flavor profiles, it spoils people like us. So I can see where you're coming from for sure. Nirvana's worth a try as well. Yeah, I've heard really good things about the Eclipse line. I haven't had anything from the good Eclipse line yet, but I still need to. Guava made you want more flavor. That's one of the best guavas I've had. I have to agree with you, Matt. Ethmani Fakama is meh. I'm not crazy for it, but I enjoy it. Yeah, I really enjoy it. In fact, one of the big reasons I moved over to smoking a lot of Alpha Kama was our producer, Mr. Bracken Cox, started smoking Alpha Kama, and he never smoked anything but Tangiers, and Alpha Kama was the brand that made him smoke blondes again. And I was like, whoa, Tangiers is probably my favorite brand. Let's figure out what's going on there. And there were a few other guys that started to really rave about Alpha Kama, so I got onto it, and I'm now hooked. I don't know how you're going to do my boy Absol like that. No, Absol's good. I'm a big fan of Absol for the right flavors. Mango and their ponds, outstanding. Their lemon pie's trash. Sorry. I need to mix it with cookie dough. Cookie dough is an interesting flavor. Travis Green, what's going on, buddy? Clouds are still going good. Now, at this point, if we were using... Let's take a bowl of comparable size, not the same size... But let's pretend I cut up half of an orange and put the peels in the bottom of this bowl to take the capacity down from 45 grams to a more reasonable 30 to 28. The Hookah John Wide Gauge Harmony Bowl is fairly comparable when you look at it top down. If I had the Hookah John Wide Gauge Harmony with this same setup, my bowl would be burning right now, and that's because the Wide Gauge Harmony does a much better job at diffusing heat down into the bowl, causing the bowl to be hot. And do we have heat down here yet? Barely. It's just getting warm to the touch down here. So, I don't know. Red clay just doesn't diffuse heat as well. Heat can kind of escape. I think it might be, I don't know, it's bro science. I really would need to break the bowl and check out the actual pores. But I would guess that this is a more porous, open, airy type of clay, and heat's just able to escape very easily. Oh, what is that, bot? Streamlabs did an update. Now Chatbot and Streamlabs have been integrated in with each other. So it's the same bot. They just changed the name of it for whatever reason. Same here. Tangiers kick for several years, and the streak wasn't broken until Starbuzz releases the Vintage line, which is something I think we should start touching on a little bit more because the Starbuzz Vintage line is probably the best thing Starbuzz has put out. And I stuck with those two until I got surprise mail from Alpha Kama. That's how they do it. Body is smart. He gives a lot of people who he either knows the taste of or he heard of them through a friend of a friend and just snipes them with the mail, and then all of a sudden you're like, next thing you know, you're hitting Body up in the DM saying, hey, can I order a kilo of assorted iced tea flavors from you? And he goes, oh yeah, but this is the bad batch. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'm going to cut it up. I don't care. That's how much I like the flavors. I've never had Azure White Gummy Bear. Is it comparable to Fumari's White Gummy Bear? Also, if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, first of all, thank you. Second of all, this end of the show at Technical Difficulties, the way we have it set up right now, there's a lot of chat interaction, and me, honestly, just chilling out and enjoying the company of a bunch of people that I wish I was hanging out with in real life. But unfortunately, we all live in different places, so I am doing it vicariously through my computer screen. So, any information that you may have wanted to see about these bowls is in the beginning of the episode. And just to kind of summarize everything, don't buy a Shika bowl. If you have one, watch the pack method and look at the way that I heated it. If you want a suggestion on coals, I go with Prestige Jumbo Flat specifically. Although you could do 4 Prestige cubes on this bowl and it would perform pretty much the same. And that's because since this bowl isn't holding heat, it's really only taking the surface heat from the coal, and the coal at the bottom where you put it down has the same dimensions as a cube. So with cubes, you're actually getting some escaped heat, unfortunately. I think cubes are better off used in an HMD of some type, where you can actually capitalize on all that extra surface area of hot carbon. And then, yeah, you probably got your Oblivion Bowl with a Shika, so if you did, there's no reason to throw it out, but I would not recommend purchasing one. That's the TLDR. I'm going to hang out with chat for a little bit longer, but if you were on the rebroadcast, I won't waste your time. There's probably no more interesting information for you, but happy smoking. So we got David saying that Azure's White Gummy Bear is better, but Travis says Fumari's White Gummy Bear is better. I am a fan of Fumari's White Gummy Bear, and now I'm considering maybe I'll just pick up an extra 100 grams of the Azure. Is it only a blonde flavor, their white gummy? Because I really like that pineapple-y, crisp white gummy bear flavor that that Fumari does, and if Azure can do it better, I'll just switch to Azure, because I respect There's nothing wrong with Fumari, but I really respect the way Azur's doing what they do. And their dark line has come from unsmokable to top 3 dark tobaccos, period. So I'm a fanboy of the brand at this point. Bruh, this is a rebroadcast. Everyone did. Wait, no, that was for the people that watch us on the rebroadcast, because some people actually go through and watch these episodes after they're aired. And while I think the podcast has quite a bit of value, actually just as much value on the rebroadcast, other than like call-ins and stuff, these shows like Technical Difficulties, where it's a lot of answering questions and just bullshitting with chat, most of the value is for you guys. I'd say the first 20 minutes is really the valuable part of the rebroadcast. So, Justin, what have you noticed about Alpha Kama's cut? Is it that it's choppy? Because that's what I've noticed, and I think that doesn't matter quite as much with Alpha Kama. It is a criticism worth making, though. Their cut could be more consistent. I am good personal friends with Badia, one of the men behind Alpha Kama, and I've talked to him about this, and he is aware of the issue. But for me, it hasn't actually affected the smokability at all, like in any way. Same thing with like Hooked on Hookah. They have a very stemmy cut, and it's chopped to shit. I mean, it looks like a fucking swamp mess. It smokes amazing. So take that for what it's worth. Total leaves unchopped. I have come across that. It's not been an issue where it's like, oh man, there's like, this is a salad, not a shisha tobacco. But I have gone in and seen a big chunk, and you pick it up and you unroll it, and it's just a tobacco leaf. I have had that problem, and that I think your issue there is very well-founded. I don't disagree with you there. That is an issue. That is one of the downsides of Alpha Kama. Unfortunately, they're high volume. They're very high volume. They make a lot of tobacco. They serve internationally. I don't have the numbers, so this is all hearsay, but I would venture to guess they make a lot more tobacco than any of the American-based tobacco companies. Like, a lot more. So you're going to have inconsistencies and stuff. If it starts to affect my sessions, I'll have to go out in the public and start to say, like, Alpha Kama's on the down right now. But as of recent, I've been quite impressed. Travis Green, is there Dark Leaf? Yeah, me too. It's like one of my favorite Dark Leafs. I think Trifecta is king for me just because, like, it was the first true Dark Leaf I discovered, and it is what brought me to Dark Leaf, and there's this nostalgia. But, like, after trying Azur's initial batch of Dark Leaf that was pretty much unsmokable, and moving over to what they have now, it's just insane how good it is. Like, their Viva La Horchata is probably one of just the best flavors, period. This bowl's smoking quite well. Here's another tidbit of information. Again, if you're watching this on the rebroadcast and you stay till this long, good job. You're about to get a little bonus information that the people who left didn't. Congratulations. This bowl's not going to last as long as it needs to because of the fact that the bowl doesn't catch any heat as your coals die down. Your session's going to die down with the coals. HMDs will go pretty far away, although Lotus doesn't fit on this correctly, and a Provost looks like a tiny ship in a giant ocean when put on top of this bowl, which I think is a problem. If I had poked holes over the spire, it would be even worse. But this could do a second round, but 2 rounds of coals on this bowl, 2 rounds of coals should typically get you 1 hour and 45 to 2:10. And this bowl is going to get you about 1 hour 10, because the coals become unsmokable much sooner than they should, because the bowl's not helping diffuse heat at all. So again, probably don't buy this bowl. And there's no shade to Shika. What they do well. This is the bowl that they create to give away with their full setups so you can smoke. And it's baseline better than Red Clay Egyptians, not because this bowl is strictly better than a Red Clay, but because every Oblivion Bowl I've ever touched is correct dimensionally. You can get some unsmokable Red Clay Egyptian bowls. So if you have a good Red Clay Egypt bowl, hold on to it because unless you can hand pick it, you can buy garbage, like probably 60% of the time. Azur cigar is good, just heavy. I think the heaviness in the Azur cigar is ideal. I think that's just very good, and I'm a big fan of it. Adrian, you are so much more knowledgeable than Matt. I'm glad you're doing technical difficulties well. I don't know that I'm more knowledgeable about Matt. I think I'm quicker to throw out information that maybe I'm 90% on. Matt typically only throws shit out when he like has written a novel on it. I think Matt's just much more conservative with his words, but we're on the internet here, so I tend to be a little bit more reckless abandon. But no, I don't know if that's completely true. Matt Desmond is very knowledgeable. However, the things that I cover on technical difficulties, I tend to make sure I'm well read on before I do it. Because a lot of these I haven't started to practice it yet, but I'll probably start rendering the videos down and using them on Pipe Dream Hookah as supercuts of just kind of like little tidbits of information that, again, don't deserve an entire review. Like, I'm not going to do a Messiah Shika Bowl review, you know, like Shika Bowl with Messiah in it, because it's super niche and it's not for everyone. But I think kind of rewording it as this kind of like, let's go over how to do this thing that's typically looked at as suboptimal is a good thing. That said, no, Matt's pretty good at stuff. I don't even think I'm necessarily a wealth of knowledge in the hookah world. I just smoke a lot of hookah, so like anything that comes across in my day-to-day smoking, I do on technical difficulties. So I don't talk about stuff that I don't know about, but there's all kind of stuff that I don't talk about in the hookah world, and it's because I don't know about it, if that makes sense. What's the book called? I don't think I'm going to show that comment. Well, wait, no, we're fucking edgy. Wait, typically, I wouldn't show this on the main show, on the podcast show, because Bracken is the mastermind there, but this is technical difficulties. We're allowed to be fucking edgy boys here. Yeah, I'm just going to latch onto what Matt just said and say, me too. I am also no hookah master. I'm just a guy that smokes. What do we got here? Sorry, I'm just going through some personal messages right now. Soon. You should come soon. Like, whenever. Do you guys like vlogs? What if... I'm going to take a little poll right here. What if there was like a... You guys know that Paul. He packs his bowls on Facebook Live sometimes. You guys have probably seen that. What do you guys think of like something like that? Of like some curated content that isn't necessarily live? That maybe I could do on Pipe Dream, or maybe even we could bring it here and Matt and I could both do it. What about something like that? Before I let you guys off the hook, I'd love to know. And I tell you what, I'm not even going to end this until someone says something about it. What about like more regular content, or like it's almost like a hookah vlog, like something in hookah that you do in your day-to-day life that you can kind of curate and release. It's just an idea, but I thought it might be cool. So let me know what you guys think. There's 11 of you watching. There's 6 likes. Why don't you like the fucking video? I'm the AM Hookah Podcast, and I like this video. Which means that when you go into our like videos playlist, our own videos are going to be in it, which looks really bad, but oh well. I got some Dark Leaf Royal Raspberry and some Dark Leaf RM. I can't give out the name. Not really. Ooh, Travis, is it... If there's a... I can't say anything about this. All I can say is I know of a brand that's coming to the market soon that I haven't tried yet, but a lot of my peers really enjoy, and I'm wondering if Travis Green also knows about that. Yes and a yes. Okay, Matthew and Khalid say yes. I think it's something worth trying. So there's that. Oh, okay. Rebranding Mint. Something that we've been talking about in the background, and I'm just going to go ahead and release... Wait, we haven't talked to Bracken about this. I can't yet. I can't say anything. Now you're all cucked. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's just going to do it for this episode of Technical Difficulties. Hopefully you'll like this one. Hopefully any of you watching this, I'm going to have to direct that to the rebroadcast because I know everyone in this chat has no reason to own an Oblivion Bowl because we already got some top tier shit. But I hope anyone on the rebroadcast that's rocking just an Oblivion Bowl, maybe you're a newer smoker or maybe you're a more traditional smoker, I hope this is helpful. And if you want some pointers as to what bowl to get after your Oblivion Bowl, there's going to be a video on that coming soon. Don't know what channel, don't know what format. But really quickly, just a quick slur, Hookah John Alpaca Bowls, if you want to spend not a lot of money and get a lot of value. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm going to go back to the other screen. Man, my hair looks so fucking good today. You guys, I'm so conceited. Bye. turn my voice down. Get it down a little bit. Turn it down just a little bit down. Yeah. Intro music.